afternoon and welcome to Social Media for Entrepreneurs, and this week we're speaking about blogging. So the first time we did this live we kind of messed up the sound a little bit, so this is a re-recording of the lesson, the masterclass, so at least other people can come and watch it, and I'll be sending out information to that. So welcome if you did view it. Apologies for the first disaster technology, and we're going to get going and make sure that that happens a little better. So check all our instruments and everything going, so we're A for a way. So this week we're speaking about blogging, and we're in the middle of a series for social media for entrepreneurs, and we're looking at all those different boxes. And this week we're looking at the website, and in specific the blog. And blogging is so often misunderstood or not used, but little do you know that it's the most effective way to build your brand, to expand that over the entire area of your targeted audience, and to be able to create a footprint and awareness for yourself and your brand. So it's very important to have a blog, and very important to use your blog and to create that. So what is a blog? You say, well, a blog is a regularly updated website or web page, typically run by an individual or a small group, that is written on an informal or conversation style. And a typical blog, it's a page on your website. That's all it is. It's an article, it's a page on your website, and it's categorized as a blog because there's multiple articles that link together, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But each blog has got various aspects, and components, and it's the heading or the title of your blog, it's the main chunk, the copy of your blog, the body, and then we add the images and videos to it, and it's got certain links in and out, and of course the SEO. And SEO stands for search engine optimization, and that's really what the blog is all about. And it makes it easy to find and makes it easy to work, and you should be able to do it. So let's unpack a little bit more about that. Let's drill down a little. Now, this is not a how-to blog. I'm not going to teach you how to write. I'm not going to talk to you about that. I'm just going to highlight some of the aspects that your blog should be used for and how to use it. So the purpose of a blog is a number of things. It's to share ideas, and you can share new ideas, great ideas. It's a good way to kind of inspire and educate your clients, and to be able to build that cloud of knowledge around what you do there. And it doesn't have to be a technical blog. It can just be about parenting. It can just be about travel. It can just be about how to grow plants. And what we'll do at the end of this webinar is I'll share some of the awards that blogs have won, or some of the award-winning blogs in South Africa, and you can go and look at them and peruse them, and you'll see exactly what they're all about and how that comes together and how they use that. So it's a great way to build a community, and of course selling is always a great way to sell products, talk about your products. There's a lot of blog related products, and to also inform people. So you can inform people of new regulations, laws, information that you can share there together with education. Okay, so let's unpack a little bit more about the rules of blogging. Now, blogging is an interesting concept. Is that firstly, you've got to have an enticing headline, and one of the ones that we were speaking about is a headline that we saw in the newspaper the other day. A local newspaper, tabloid type thing, said, "Alien stole my baby." And you know, when you first see that, you're kind of thinking of little spaceships and green men coming from Mars and abducting childs. But really what it was, once you got to read the article and you'd been enticed to buy the newspaper or download the newspaper and read it, it was all about an alien person, not an alien from space, but an alien / non-South African came in, and it was a syndicate that they were involved in, and they stole the baby. They caught them and the baby was returned. So it was a happy ending. But it's interesting, there's the way you word it and the way you entice people to want to know more. And I think newspaper headlines, I love reading all the newspaper headlines on the polls on the way to work and getting there. And you often think, I have no idea what that's and it's really interesting, I really want to read it and stuff, and you go download the newspaper or buy the newspaper and look at it and go, okay, so it wasn't that good. But you've got to use those sort of stuff to create that information. A good way to use it is also to ask a question. Are you good enough for this, or are you one of the people that could be chosen for this? You're asking that question of that, and the answer invokes a reaction to read and want more. You can also use stats, and this is a brilliant one to kind of entice, especially the A-type personalities, is that you throw out stats like 3 out of 4 women would love what we got to talk about today. Or you can be a little controversial. It's like, 9 out of every 10 men hate doing this and things. And people want to know what it is. People want to know which category they fall in. Do I fall in the 9? Do I fall in the 1? Am I part of the average? Am I part of the crowd? Am I an exception? So to throw out the stats invokes a reaction, and people just love to be able to do that. So create that sort of environment around what you're doing and doing that. Now it's very hard to write the heading and then the whole copy of it. So write the copy, and out of that the heading will invoke. And we'll speak about keywords a little bit later, but your keyword has to be in your heading as well. So a typical blog article is about 300 words. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit yes, but try and keep to 300. 300 words is the scientifically proved and correct length. It's what people read without falling asleep. It's people read without getting distracted. It's about 2 or 3 minutes engagement, and people can read, look at the stuff, understand, think about it a little bit before they go onto it. If you hit them with a 1,000-word article, they're going to not read to the end. If you want to write a long article, split it into different articles. Have series of articles that you can run, part 1, part 2, part 3, and put it out there. At maximum, you want to get to 400 words, but nothing more than that. And you'll see there, the longer your article, the less reads you get. And don't think that you can write and be kind of technical. Again, if you look at the award-winning blogs, look how simply they write, look at the level that they're writing at. It's kind of that grade 5, grade 6, grade 7 level of language skills, and you might think, oh, that's so low, but that's the level that we speak at. We speak at that simplistic thing, and that's what blog is about. If I want to read a technical thing, I'm going to go buy the Mail and Guardian, and I'm going to go and download scientific journals. But for blog, I want relaxed reading, easy reading, magazine-style reading, and that's what you get. There's a big difference between articles in, say, the U magazine and a scientific journal. It's different audience. One is written for conversation, and the other is written at that academia thing. Your blog definitely needs to be at that conversation if you want to invoke any readers. Unless you're a scientist and you're writing for a specific field of people who are planning to go to Mars and they're talking about quantum mechanics, then definitely more than, but 99.9% of blogs need to be really simply and easy to read. Enhance your blog article by use of images. Enhance your blog article by inserting videos. And find good images that relate to, use photographs if you can, use your own images if you can. If you want to steal images, use images. Make sure that you're valid license to use them. Don't go use images that have got watermarks on it. It's just poor taste and it's theft. So make sure that it's kept well, and you use relative images. Also downscale the images as well, 300 by 400, 400 by 500 type size, so you're not having to download huge amounts of data. People viewing it on cell phones and mobile things don't want to sit there and wait for the image to download. You can make, it doesn't have to be high quality, just small photos, small images. When you putting in a video, downgrade the size of your video. Don't put the whole YouTube video in there with full HD. Downgrade it, and you can use that using a simple HTML iframe to put it in there. That's technology over your head. Then go read about it. If you're still stuck, send me a mail and we'll help you with that. To put in your video should be about 400 wide and simple, easy to read, easy to download, use on mobile, and always go view your blog on your mobile as well to make sure that it translates well and people can see it and not all squished and laid out incorrectly. So it's really good to use. Use links. We spoke about links, various different types of links, related to inbound, outbound links and things. And ultimately, there are three types of links that you've got to have in your article. If you're writing a series of articles, so you put in article number 1. When you write article number 2, always link back to article 1 in your article 2, and in your article 3, link back to 1 and 2. So last week we spoke about this and link back, and the week before we spoke about that, and this week we're speaking about this. And have you seen this article written by somebody else? That's an outbound link, and you can then say, for more information, contact us, and that's a link within your website to the contact page. Okay, so that kind of sums up the various types of links, and those are just hyperlinks. If you're stuck with hyperlinks, go learn it again. If you're still stuck, come chat to us, we'll show you how. But links are very important because it creates that conversation cloud. And what you want to do is you want to create conversation clouds within your organization, within your website, to then put out to social media, which then creates a larger thing. And conversation clouds are more important than keyword density and SEO and all that sort of stuff. So it's very important to create those little clouds and get that. And that brings us on to keyword density. So what you've got to do is link to your category and your tag, and how that works there is come up with a keyword or a key phrase that your blog article is about, and make sure that that's in your heading, and make sure that's in your first sentence or two, and make sure that you use that word 3 or 4 or 5 times within your article. And then when you load that, you can load that as your keyword in your SEO app, and you can add it to your category and do your tag, and it just helps classify and focus that article that you have. So if you're writing a series called, social media for entrepreneurs, make sure that's in it, and you have that across all the different articles. If you're talking about marketing or financing or bridging finance or parenting and all that sort of stuff, make sure those keywords are throughout the articles, so people searching that don't know your blog are going to Google and say, entrepreneurs marketing, then your article is going to come up and be able to fulfill that. So that's kind of how that works and where that's going to come from. So it's very important to have all those categories together to make sure that your blog is representative and it's functional and easy to read and easy to use, to ensure that other people can find it. All right, so a little bit, once you've created a blog and once you've got that up and running, you've got to share the love and make sure that your blog articles are re-sent out there. Make sure it's linked to things like your Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. And we spoke last week about the LinkedIn profiles. And if you haven't seen that, go back and download and watch that lesson to be able to look at that and see how we've linked in blogs to that. But it's very important to have your content replicated or sent out. There's also a thing called Feedburner. Feedburner is owned by Google and is part of your account, and it's quite technical, so get somebody to help you if you're not technically minded, but it's a good way to load and get that Feedburner link out there, and then every time you load articles in there, it gets sent out to various search engines and organizations and to create that. We also got a little subscription option on there. There's a whole bunch of other things that you can go there. We could have a whole other lesson just on Feedburner, but it's not a technical thing. Go speak to a lot of other videos about that. But Feedburner is critical to link your blog to. We use a tool called IFTTT. It stands for if this, then that. And it's a great tool. It's like having an extra staff member that doesn't need leave or pay or weekends off. It works kind of 24 hours and it monitors a number of things for us. But one of the key things that it does is it replicates. As soon as we add a blog onto our blog, an article onto our blog, it replicates it and sends it out to various places and monitors that for us. And we get reports and feedback for that. So it bleeps on my cell phone when things happen, and it tells me, keeps me up to date on a whole bunch of things, but it's also able to replicate on an ongoing basis without having to remember. But so often, what about this? I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that, and we can get that up and running with that. So that's all about the blogging and sharing that love. So cross-blogging is the last thing that I'll just just want to chat about, and cross-blogging is very important. It comes in various sort of ways. Firstly is that using content from other people's blogs. So now you going out there, and if you see a good article on somebody else's, don't steal it, don't plagiarize it, but copy some of it and put on your blog and comment on it. So yesterday I was reading this article on a bank website, and this is what they had to say. Copy 1 or 2 lines on it, then refer back to the article, read the full article here. This is what I think about it. So you're bringing that information in there, you're invoking some interest, you're using it as a conversation starter, but then you're also commenting and adding your ideas onto that. But always when you copy or you refer to other people, make sure you give them credit, make sure you got that link back to their website. And if you start copying stuff and putting on your website, the people are going to get you, and there's enough reporting tools out there that'll catch that information. So just be a little careful about that. Also be very careful of just replicating copy from one blog to another and stuff, and then you got the same articles out there. Google doesn't like it. It frowns a little bit upon that and replicating articles, and to sort of look at that. You can also write for other blogs, and again the same rule applies. If you're a guest author, guest writer for other blogs, make sure that what you're writing is original, and make sure that what you're writing is not represented anywhere else in that format. So, you know, I can talk about marketing and I can just give it a slight different spin, and we can look at marketing from this angle, but I've also got marketing on my website and maybe another website. So we write for a number of various blogs, and it's good because you can get your profile and your photo and link back to your website, and it's good for marketing, but also you're able to speak and comment on that. So you can find my blog articles and various opinion pieces on a number of blogs, and you can go and read a little bit about that. But for me, it's very important to have my photo, my name of my company and the website on those blogs, so it gives a sense of that web credibility, or web cred as they call it, which is really good. Another way to cross-blog as well is to go and comment on other people's blogs. So go read blogs and comment on it, and don't just go, oh, nice article, you know, I like this. Go comment, ask questions about, you know, you said this, I really don't understand this, I don't agree with this, or I love what you say, and, you know, have a look what we're doing and seeing there, and, you know, and you slowly building that conversation. Don't just be controversial, don't just try lure, don't sell on other people's blogs, it's just rude, but go and comment and add value to that to ensure that you're creating that ongoing that conversation. And those are the 3 kind of rules for cross-blogging. It builds your footprint, and it builds that conversation cloud that we spoke about with that. So here's some blogs to watch. We said at the beginning that these are the blog winners from a few years ago. And there's an arts and crafts guy called Homology, brilliant website filled with some really interesting kind of homes, arts and crafts, some do-it-yourself, looking at material and different colors and all that sort of stuff. Lovely thing for cold winters weekend. Go look at that, get inspired to do something, but also get in contact with a whole bunch of clever people who can do things well. Business website that won a category is CN and CO, and go read it. They comment all about things financial and business and stock market and related things. Quite a technical site, but really informative and great. Then complete opposite end of the scales, Ranger Diaries for wildlife and holidays and stuff. Brilliant website if you want to go on holiday without leaving your desk. Subscribe to Ranger Diaries and you can read what they've got there, and it'll inspire you to go buy a 4x4 or buy an air ticket to get that. If you're into fashions and all things pink and frilly, then definitely paintinginpink.com is a website for you. It's got some really good, real, you know, what I like about these things is that they're not high-tech, they're not technical websites, they're just good, honest conversation pieces. And the people who write for them, and you'll find that one thing in common with all these is not just one person writing, there's often a group of people that are writing. So you get different opinions and different genres of writing, which is so great. It's not just hearing the same person over and over again. You've got other people around that. So that fashion website's really good. There's some great articles. I had a good chuckle yesterday looking at some of those stuff there. And the Beard music, the Beard.fm, they based in Pretoria, I think, and they've got a good comment on SA music and all things musical around there. And then parenting, one of the best blogs that I've seen for a long time, and been reading it, and it's a good motivation not to have kids with all the problems that they face. But if you've got kids already, then this is a brilliant website just to understand a little bit about all things parenting and all things kids related. So it's 3 kids, 2 dogs and 1 old house. And it is that. It just talks about being real as a parent and what are the issues you're facing with, with health and diet and clothing and behavior and cell phones and the threats against kids and the issues about it being a parent and overtired, overstressed and still having to deal with all the stuff that we do and just unpacking that. So that's definitely part of something to watch and to read if you're into that. And if you're into sports, well, SA's sports blog is what it says it is, and it's got all things sport, cross-genre, all different sports. There's a couple of sports-specific blogs. This one's a very nice one because it covers a lot of sports. And they've got good, honest comment about it. It's not just promoted by the sponsors or the coach. They've got good commentary that could kind of give you enough to say if you go out to a braai and you're not too sure what happened at the Manchester United game, or who's doing what in Super Rugby or what's happening in Formula One. It's a good place to go and upskill quickly and get some topics with it. But those are the kind of blogs that are available. And one thing you'll notice, there's no big corporate blogs here. There's no blogs in here that are owned by the big guys. There's nothing in there that says Media 24, and there's nothing in here that's owned by the big financial institutes or the banks. These are just genuine, down-to-earth people like you and me who can do blogging. And they do blogging by blogging, and you learn how to blog by blogging. And one thing I really want to encourage you is do blogging. If you're not blogging for you and your brand yet, well, go and create a blog. There's a number of free websites like Blogger and all that sort of stuff there, but WordPress is definitely the best. And get a good WordPress website with all the blogs that go, link it into Feedburner, open up a Google account, get all that technical stuff done there, and then start blogging and write blogging and blogging and blogging. Your first article always says, this is my first blog and I don't know what to write. That's a good place to start. Go for it. Write your first blog article, and 100 blog articles later you'll get better at it, and 10,000 later you'll become an expert at it. And everybody started out writing their first blog by writing their first blog. So get out there and blog. It's really good for you and your brand. It's a way to establish some sort of credibility online. It's about getting a voice out there and an opinion that leads into credibility in your sales funnel, and a really great way to sort of enhance you and your brand that you have. So next week, 20th of September, we're going to speak about Facebook. And if you think you know Facebook, you're in for a surprise, because we're going to take you behind the curtains and show you a little bit about the inners of Facebook and some technical stuff that we've learned on how to create good Facebook sort of culture and a footprint. And then 27th of September, we're going to go into YouTube and YouTube channels and playlists and some of the information there as well. So don't miss the next two. Thank you very much for joining us, and we trust that your blogging will take off. If you've got any questions or queries about this, please just come and chat to us, drop me an email. Come and see us. We're based in Woodstock, Cape Town. You can drop by our website. Please don't look at our blog too technically. A lot of the stuff that I've told you here, we're not doing, and we plan to do it. We plan to remain authentic and do what we ask people to do there, but like everything, it is a process, and we'll get going. So thank you very much. Chat to us, comment on us, and let us know how you're doing. We'd love to hear from you. My name is Bruce Wade. We'll see you next week.